So all these golf people saying that this course was boring, terrible. It's like, what golf were you watching? What more do we want to watch the best players in the world have to hit a long iron, have to hit a drive where they know if they miss that shot, they're screwed? Because newsflash, Wyndham Clark, you're garbage in majors. Figure it out. You missed the cut this week, and he's supposedly the best player in the world. He's better than every live player according to golf media, right? And where was he this week?
On the couch.
On the couch again. He's worried about playing 54 holes, bud. You can't get through 36.
Welcome back to episode 53 of the Loggerhead Golf Podcast. And finally, we got a good weekend of golf on TV. PGA Championship, Xander finally learned how to play on Sunday. So congrats to him.
Yeah, he earned that one.
Yeah. He's been knocking on the door for quite some time. I thought I saw how many top tens has he had in majors? 12. It's a ridiculous number. 12. I think 13
unreal.
now.
Well, this makes 13.
Correct. Yeah. But you don't realize he's out on tour that long. But the kid's got, going into this week, he had 12 top 10s in majors.
Scottie's major record going into this week was the exact same as Ben Hogan's before Ben Hogan won his first major.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It was like 3 top 5s, 4 top 7, top 6s or whatever. And then 12 top 10s.
And one less felony?
No, he meant Xander. It wasn't Scottie.
Yeah, I'll say Xander.
It was Xander, not Scottie. Scottie's got majors. He's got green jackets.
Yeah, he has two.
Scottie just doesn't win after April.
He's got an orange jacket
now. It's so easy because I joked about it last week. Is we've known that Xander hasn't been able to pull through on Sundays. I even sent, after hole 10, I sent the choke emoji of, I forgot which basketball player it was, but that the meme is. But for him to hit that iron shot on 11, I was like, nope, he ain't going anywhere. And, you couldn't have asked for, I would say, a more deserving winner because he's been playing the best golf in the world besides a handful of guys the past 2 years. He just hasn't won. So, question is, does this open the door? Is this going to finally unlock him to win more?
I think it has to.
I think
because of the style of game he plays.
It's a different style.
He doesn't make mistakes. When he does, he falls off the leaderboard. But you look at the stats, from this past tournament, and obviously strokes gained, he was number 1, but he was number 1 in birdies, right? Number 2 was Corey Connors. Mm-hmm. Where did he finish on the leaderboard? Bryson wasn't even in the top 5 in birdies.
Guess who was the strokes gained? Tee to green. Number 1. Justin Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
He top 10, great week.
Right.
Shot 4 rounds under par, but
you just don't make the big mistakes and play boring golf. And that's what Xander does. And Xander can win. He can win at Pinehurst with that game. He can win at the Open. And realistically, until the course overpowers somebody like that, his boring golf is going to win a lot. And I think this is going to launch him on a run.
It's also the first year with a new swing coach.
Mm-hmm.
He's been working with Chris Como. And they talked about how he's picked up, like they asked him on an interview when Callaway put out a post during the practice rounds this week. They're like, you picked up 10 miles per hour ball speed this year. How'd you do it? He goes, I did. So you could tell he doesn't care what the results are. It's just they have a process of what they're working on with his swing. His swing is way less laid off. It's maybe slightly more across the line now, to where I guess now he's able to his start line isn't so far left. It's more in front. He's either fading or drawing it. Because it proved this week with the course setup that being 7,800 yards and it's soft, you have to fly the ball a long way. And, he was on pretty much everybody's top 5 possible to win this week. You look at the leaderboard, the best ball strikers in the world were up there, or backdoor top 10, backdoor top 20. So I think as a whole, you couldn't have asked for a more deserving champion. Now, me personally, I was rooting so hard for Bryson. Yep. I wanted Bryson to win.
Yeah, he played his booty off on Sunday.
Yeah.
He really did all week. He did. You take a look at guys.
He had a rough Friday.
Right.
Where, he scrapped together that round. But I think making that eagle chip on Saturday to close out the day, that's really what changed his momentum. I can go out there and do it. It's weird what he's been saying in all his interviews is he's like, I'm just trying to get my game back to where when I shot 58. And it's just I know it's anytime you hear somebody say, I just want my game to be where it was when I shot my best score ever, we're all like, okay, but like best scores evers are kind of like one off. I'm like, when he says that, I'm like, shoot, I kind of believe him. Like, I kind of think he can do it again.
I think
it's kind of weird.
There's like two guys coming into it now to where, there's obviously Scottie's there, guys that can win. But, I think Brooks, anytime he steps in a major, he's got to be there. Well, I think Bryson is now back in that role.
Brooks had a great Sunday.
Even though he's already won a U.S. Open. He's that guy to where it's almost like, you see certain guys going this way and then Rory McIlroy is going this way. So I think Rory's run his course. Okay. I think he started prepping for the senior tour. But anyway.
Wow.
He just won an elevated event.
All right. Calm down. He also dumps it in the water with a wedge.
His wedge game is absolutely atrocious.
But, I think there's guys like, you got to root for Brooks, and you got to root for Bryson. And I think that, even the golf media is turning,
100%.
When Chambly, I can't believe he said what he said about Brooks.
Would there have been any energy on that golf course if Bryson wasn't in that tournament?
No.
Because Xander had blinders on. He needed to, because like he says, I've literally have tried everything to win on Sunday. Not look at leaderboards. Look at leaderboards on the back nine. Look at leaderboards the entire time. Not talk to my caddy. Keep my head down. Look at the crowd, interact with the crowd. He's like, I've tried everything to win on Sundays. And whatever he did this past Sunday, he just needs to remember.
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah. But, Bryson, just think about hole 5 when he made that putt off the green, when he flailed his iron right, and then he gave that fist pump. I was like, okay, he's fired up. And the crowd loved it.
What do you think Colin Morikawa learned this week?
Don't stop playing conservative. It was a absolute repeat of St. Andrews 2 years ago with Rory, right? You're not going to win a major by playing conservative. That's just, especially if you're up on the top of that leaderboard, and this kind of dives into a little bit of like what we think about the golf course, but like when everybody at the top of the leaderboard is making birdies, you can't go hit it to 30 feet and expect to win, because the probability of you making a 30 footer is less than 20%. So I think just the stats kind of caught up to him. His putter saved him Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Those putts got to stop falling at some point.
Yeah, I think the other thing is Viktor Hovland's first time he almost pulled out of the event and then had a real chance coming into it. And kind of an interesting take there is he got to 5th in the world, almost won every tournament he played in, or top 5, fired his coach. 2 weeks after firing his coach, he can't break 75 in a PGA Tour event. Goes 3 months, misses the cut. I think 28th place, misses cut, withdrawal. Hires his coach last week. Top 5's a major. So another big change going into there is he's kind of got his form back too.
Do you guys think, because like I probably see this more with young players now, since pretty much if you make it to the PGA Tour, you've probably had a swing coach since you were 5. Do we think that like with like Viktor's sake, since he came over, played at Oklahoma State, then he's pretty much traveled by himself. And then he got really good under this one coach, and this coach started to get a lot of recognition. Do you think there was probably a little bit of selfishness, like, no, I'm going to prove that it's me, not the coach?
Could have been. It's a good point. I see that quite a bit with our students.
Mm-hmm.
But we see some success on the golf course, and then we get busy and
I got it figured out.
I don't think it's that. I think it's almost like, the more that, like, when you get famous, teaching like that, if you have a student here, what do you have? You have like 2 or 3 other people start pulling on your shoulder, and if you gave this guy X amount of time and that was the only guy, now you've got 3 guys, how are you going to divide that time out? So somebody's going to have to give. And obviously the person that brought you up is going to be the one that says, you know what, I'm done with you, because you're done with me.
Yeah. They probably both. It's everybody knows Joe Mayo's his coach. Joe Mayo is quite the character. He's not afraid to
tell it like it is,
or back his beliefs, whether you may think his beliefs are wrong or right. But Joe Mayo acts like his crap don't stink. But at the same time, it proved last year it worked for Viktor Hovland. How much money did Viktor Hovland make last year?
$25, something like that.
Yeah.
With a few more zeros.
With a few more zeros, yeah. He won 5-6 times last year to the FedEx Cup. I mean, he made close to $20 million on the course. You know, and I don't care if you think you played your best golf in college. In what world is there other people in your team or your system that's saying, hey, you need to stray from that path and maybe think if there's something better out there?
Well, it happened to Colin Morikawa. He left Rick Stittenhouse.
Yeah.
And then went a year of playing awful golf, rehired him 3 months ago, and now he's trending again.
Top 5 in the first 2 majors of the year, only player to do that.
So many times it can be just a personal thing where it's just something that you said or you did or you did for someone else.
Yeah.
You know, again, I mean,
It's not you, it's me.
yeah, exactly.
Well, and I would say there's a little bit of things because like you want to make sure that the belief is within yourself, right? So like I hear a lot of my students come in that I haven't seen in a long time. They're like, everything's been going great. I've been working on what you said. I've added, you know, and they always say like, I've added a few things myself and I feel like it's good, but something's bad now. So you have to fix it. And I'm like, you just kind of built yourself up and then put yourself down there a little bit. Like, it's anytime you're working with a coach, it's not what the coach wants you to do. It's a team effort. So it's like, we don't have to have this, this fight between who gets more credit. Like, cause at the end of the day, it's whatever's the best for the golfer. And I think Victor's probably had that come to Jesus with it.
Well, it's kind of the general rule of thumb with any of the tour player interviews. Most of the time it's, if you win a tournament, I played really good golf this week. And if you go into a press conference and let's say you came in 18th place, it's, well, me and my coach are working on things to make me better.
Yeah.
But that same tone isn't said when they win.
I will say
I think there's a little
Xander
shift.
said a lot of stuff about his team.
Well, that's
and his putting coach was saying the exact same terminology at the beginning of the week. What was Xander's phrase of the week?
I have no clue.
Stay in my lane. His putting coach was saying this.
Somebody else should have had that this week too.
Yeah.
wow.
Scottie.
Oh, dear Lord. We'll get into that, but it's. I think it's just really come down to like a lot of these golfers. You could tell if they have that process or if they don't. I have a few beefs with this week. I'm sick and tired of seeing old man golf media, golf snobs say this golf course sucked and it wasn't a good major. In what world was this week not a great golf course to showcase the best golfer winning? I'm so sick and tired of them saying just because you miss a green, you don't get penalized and it's an easy up and down. It's like, yeah, but the reason why Xander won is because he was, 1, hitting fairways, 2, hitting 5 and 6 and 4 irons within 15 feet of the flag. He said in his presser, he goes, the golf course with that soft, you have to go at flags. So it's not like these guys were wedging it into every green.
The golf course didn't play the way it was supposed to play because of the weather
but
they
it
had.
Still was a fair test.
Definitely. He even said it on Sunday. He goes, the golf course, you could tell Sunday was getting firmer and it was getting faster. The balls were supposed to roll towards the, out of the fairway into the rough if you missed it in a certain area, stuff like that. And you never saw it because it was just so wet and damp. But, to your point, you sit there and say, okay, he did break the scoring record there, but that doesn't matter as far as toughness of a golf course. I would much rather see guys going out making birdies.
Well, Xander said it best. He got rewarded for his great shots. Mm-hmm. He got rewarded. Did he get penalized for his bad shots? He got penalized on 10. He hit a layup where you can't hit a layup. He had an awkward wedge. Then he had a really awkward chip shot. Missed a 6-footer for par. So all these golf people saying that this course was boring, terrible. It's like, what golf were you watching? What more do we want to watch the best players in the world have to hit a long iron, have to hit a drive where they know if they miss that shot, they're screwed? Because newsflash, Wyndham Clark, you're garbage in majors. Figure it out. You missed the cut this week, and he's supposedly the best player in the world. He's better than every live player according to golf media, right? And where was he this week?
On the couch.
On the couch again. He's worried about playing 54 holes, bud. You can't get through 36.
I don't know.
John Rahm, where the hell were you?
I just think that, when people try to equate, the course, compared to score as far as being easy or tough, I'd much rather see a birdie fest than a par fest.
Because they're hitting good shots to get there.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but hitting 4 and 5 and 6 iron to 15 feet is a very tall order. I mean,
Under pressure.
under pressure in a major event with thousands, millions of people watching.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see in what world how that was a bad venue.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the best ball strikers in the world were at the top of that leaderboard. Sahith Theegala was right there. He had a bad Sunday, right? Shane Lowry, he's been playing some awesome golf this year, was right there. Colin Morikawa, Xander Schauffele, Scottie Scheffler on Sunday when he had his caddy back on the bag. What did he do?
What was Tom Hoagie? Where did he finish?
I don't know, but again,
He was second in birdies to get to the winner.
So there was bogeys out there, but that's a problem. Like, I also like golf courses where these guys, like, they're clenching their cheeks on the tee box because they know they can't just, like, you have to let it rip because the length is so long, but you can't miss the fairway. I mean, how often were you seeing those guys hitting tee shots and they're like staring, like leaning, like, oh, get a yard right, because they know if it's a yard to the left or too far to the right, it's automatic bogey.
Yep.
Okay, so how is that a bad golf course? Right.
I don't know. I mean, I just sit back and I don't want to rehash anything, but when you sit there and look at the yardage, it's 500 yards, and you see these guys hitting 3 wood and then a 6 iron, you're like, in what world do they live in?
I mean,
I mean, that's
you got to hit the ball hard to make it on tour right now. I mean, Colin Morikawa proved in that final round that he hit about every fairway, but he was 25 to 30 yards behind Xander.
Yeah.
It's hard to hit it tight when you're that far back.
Would you see how much movement he had in his ball, left to right? I mean, he's aiming over the galleries, head on 18.
Okay. And I'll probably say, Kyle, you're probably trying. My second gripe with this, I'm sick and tired of an announcer saying, oh, Bryson's hitting 8 iron here, but it's not a real 8 iron. What the hell is it then?
What is it?
What the hell is it then? Like, here's my thing. Bryson has 14 clubs in the bag, just like every other golfer. I don't care if Bryson's 8 iron loft is 26 degrees. Can any 4 of us sit there and pick up his 8 iron and hit it?
I don't know.
Not. We probably could hit it.
Are we going to be able to hit it
I don't even know if
215
I can
yards
hold
like
it.
Bryson?
No.
I don't know if I can hold it.
Right? So, like, it was so annoying on coverage when, especially 16, like he's, after he got the luckiest break in the world, he hits the most, probably the most unbelievable shot of the tournament. And they're like, from 220 out, hits 8 iron. And then you have Colt Knost go, well, it's not really an 8 iron. Then what the hell is it, Colt? Because I don't care. You ain't hitting your 6 iron there either, bud. You're hitting a freaking 5 hybrid.
Hey, it's just like my hot metal pros. All right, we all have a little bit stronger.
But that's
loft.
my thing.
It may say 8 on the bottom, but it's really 6 at heart.
But it's not a 6 at heart. That's what I'm trying to get at, because no company makes the same lofts anymore. So there's no such thing as is or isn't it.
Well, that's why
you
shouldn't have a number at the bottom of your club anyway. It should just be a loft.
Yes.
And then don't worry about it.
Like old school Ben Hogan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
put a loft on.
that was just absolutely grinding my gears listening to that, because I'm like,
we
not
can't
a
tell.
single, like, there's
we can't tell. We can't tell that certain things were grinding your gears.
I know.
It's
It's
like
just
somebody
like, I
peeling your
can't stand
Wheaties.
Colt Knost. You were known for being one of the shortest hitters on tour. There's a reason why you're not on tour anymore. There's a reason why you're announcing, because you can't hit it far enough. So just because his 8 iron is a 5 iron doesn't mean you're going to hit his 8 iron the same distance as your current 5 iron. So shut the hell up.
But it's all relative too, because like from the club tech side of things, it's ball speed efficiency with launch angle and landing angle. Is that Bryson's 7 iron club head speed compared to a 10 handicap that's 40 years old, you're going to need 2 completely different set of lofts. His club head speed, if he had a traditional 8 iron at, let's say, 38 degrees, he's probably going to hit it 120 yards because it's going to go so spinny and high in the air.
10,000 RPM.
So with how they design these irons is with his launch efficiency. Essentially, like they took his old pitching wedge, which was the I-230 from Ping that they built them based off of the Cobras. And they're like, okay, what yardage do you need this club to go? Then they went to the 9 iron. What yardage do you need this? And then they looked at launch efficiency, because it all comes down to landing angle. So it may say 26 degrees and it's an 8 iron, but for him, that's his blank yardage golf club. So that's the part that people don't realize about these stronger lofts is Bryson's a unique character, but when you go in for a fitting or you're looking at new clubs, chances are the guy that's played baseball for 10 years that swings a 7 iron 99 miles an hour, you don't need a 28-degree 7 iron. You're looking at the wrong category of iron. So that's kind of the other side to that argument too, is Bryson's having to go stronger in loft or else he'd hit every iron the same distance.
Right.
So like that's
Also,
why
every
they're going.
iron's the same length too.
Well, it kind of gets back to was it Scratch that did it by
Don
degree?
White.
You know, you can actually do it that way, and it's almost like for every amateur or even some of us, if you go out and took either the odds or the evens out of your bag, I guarantee you're not going to miss a beat.
Nope.
You know, so again, kind of getting around to trying to put an onus on. I have this 8-iron has to do this. No, it doesn't. The ball from a certain yardage has to do that.
Yep.
How do I do that? You know, it's not my 8-iron that does it for me. It could be my 5-iron that does it for me.
Well,
It could be whatever I want, and that's where I think the game of golf is kind of making a turn. Is that we're losing the shot making ability. You know, we're losing that thought process.
I don't know. I saw a lot of damn shots being made this week. Not a single ball was hit straight.
I'm not saying that
They were curving it.
I did like Xander saying that even last week he was working on moving the ball 2 ways, left to right, right to left. You know, where before now everything you hear is take one side out of the play, one ball flight, one ball flight, one ball flight. You know, and I think it's time to to bring back multiple.
Go back to the ball flight law. The 9 ball flights.
9 window, yep.
Yep, and practice those on the range. Hit the windows.
Yeah. I mean, Tiger's the biggest 9 window ball striker guy.
Yep.
I think Tiger's done. You can't play 2 times a year and expect to compete in a major.
No. Yeah.
I mean, we all said he would make the cut. Actually, did you say miss?
I can't remember.
Someone said miss,
I said miss.
but
You said make. But
he looked like I was going to say. I said
You were wrong,
I
Colonel
said
Sanders.
make because Tiger hit some shots that were really good. But I mean, when have we ever seen Tiger scold a shot out of a bunker? Like number 2, second round. You know, he's not far off the cut line.
Well, he had the chipping yips 3 years ago. I mean, he couldn't even get the ball up and down from
Sure.
in his own
I
tournament.
mean, you just can't play golf once and expect to compete. And
I think Tiger just needs to kind of maybe just step away,
I agree.
or just start making. If he needs to play, then go overseas and get some appearance fees. Although he doesn't need the money.
I also wouldn't mind.
but it's like
the only tournament we
he's
see
taking a
Tiger
spot.
at is Augusta. Like I wouldn't mind.
yeah, you can't play one event a month and expect.
Well, he tells everybody he wants to play once a month, and then he always withdraws.
Yeah.
He always doesn't show up.
Yeah.
So,
We'll see.
yeah. But some unfortunate news this week was number 1 player in the world had to warm up in a jail cell on Friday. What?
That's not where I thought you were going with.
Oh, what?
I thought you were going to say Michael Block missed the cut.
Wow.
Is-
The golden boy.
oh my gosh.
Block party over.
The block party needs to officially end. It needs to die. The HOA needs to come in and submit a letter and not allow it to happen again. I mean, there needs to be fines. There needs to be something because
It's not, I'm going to say this. I'm going to stick up a little bit for the guy that it's not his fault that everybody wanted a piece of him and then
True.
promote him. I think the PGA of America
Oh.
really did, got their money out of him.
But that being
and
said,
so did others.
that being said, he's been gifted some appearance fees. Probably he's been gifted. He got into the Charles Schwab this week for God knows why.
Because
because
he's
people,
building a triangle.
because people think he's going to bring other attention to it.
No, he won't.
Because who else is in the Charles Schwab other than Michael Block?
Scottie Scheffler.
So
Justin Thomas.
the criminals, they allow felons into tournaments these
I
days.
guess so. I
Yeah.
guess so.
Anyway, continue.
But yes, it was some. I woke up Friday morning and I looked at my phone and I saw something on Twitter, X, and it was like Scottie Scheffler arrested, and it was like this was at like 6:45, and I was like, is this a joke? Is this a prank? And then the video comes out of him getting walked to a cop car, and then but it says like. It was perfect clickbait. I think it was Golf Week or Golf Digest. It was perfect clickbait. It was like Scottie Scheffler arrested due to traffic incident involving a fatality. I was like, oh my gosh, did he kill somebody? Like, it was perfect clickbait.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? And then now that the news has come out, whoever wrote that article, and I get like freedom of press BS that we have here in America, that like that person that shouldn't be allowed to write an article. Because one, that's not fair to the family that lost a family member this week.
Did he lie in his headline?
Yes, he did lie.
He did. So
Scottie Scheffler's traffic incident did not involve a fatality.
No, there was already a traffic accident that had a fatality.
It did not involve a fatality.
then why was traffic diverted?
Traffic wasn't diverted. He came in the same way he comes in every day. So
And he got arrested for it.
So I'm just saying.
So
Again, if we're going to talk about actualities, right, stuff that did physically happen, Scottie Scheffler's traffic incident did not involve the fatality.
Apparently, he diverted around the traffic.
Yes, and a cop did not like it.
He didn't like that. He didn't.
If
stay
you're
in his
listening to
lane.
this podcast, you know what happened, right? A cop jumped on the car, fell off, damaged his pants beyond repair. They're $80.
abrasions, bruises.
Yeah. So, I would say moral of the story: don't do anything illegal on the road. Don't drive down the wrong side of the road. I know occasionally, I love Leland. I always make the illegal U-turn, but it's easy to do there because you can never turn left out of that town.
this podcast does not condone that behavior.
Or any legal advice.
Also, too, I really respect the blue. I respect the police officers. I love what they do. But guys, do not jump on cars. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. Yeah. So my fellow police officers out there, don't jump on any moving
Well, in
vehicles.
the video, he's literally essentially a bus was broken, or not broken down, but the driver exited the bus due to the traffic being stopped. So there was one car in front of him that he went around, just like the text message the PGA said. You can still continue through the gate.
Another
had
police
men-
officer told him he can go.
Yeah, so you had Minwoo Lee, who was 2 cars ahead of Scottie Scheffler, who went over the curve into the gate, and Minwoo Lee even said it in his press conference. That's what they were instructed
Michael
to do.
Collins, the same thing from ESPN, did the exact same thing.
So Scottie Scheffler was 2 cars behind them, did the same thing, and then the guy wearing a high-vis jacket that didn't say police or security or anything.
Also, body cam was not on.
Yeah, which in Kentucky, that's
But at the same time, if
Yeah.
you're traveling 85 down the road and there's 3 cars in a line, that cop can pick on any
Yeah,
one of you
okay,
because
I
you're
get it.
all
I
doing
get
something
it.
wrong.
I
But
get
just
it.
because you do it doesn't mean
get it.
I can do it.
I get it. I mean,
And why? I got a
if he
philosophical.
and I think 100%, right? If he actually committed a felony, he's going to go to his arraignment. He's going to plead whether or not he feels he's guilty or not, and then our justice system will
prevail.
Yeah. So, but I don't think it's I don't think
because you can
it's
trust our government.
Well, I got a philosophical question. When you mentioned back the blue, why do we back the blue when none of them wear blue uniforms?
happening. Just okay. Can we get to show and tell? I will say this. I had a student with a junior. I had a lesson with a junior yesterday, and he was awesome. First lesson. He's 9-year-old. He was so fun. And he looked at me. He goes, why does even anyone play golf? And I was like, you know what? That's a great question, bud. And he goes, why are, and then he sits there and he was like, why are there even questions? I was like, dang, we're getting philosophical now. I like it. When I was little, I used to annoy my dad with stuff like that.
When he was little, he annoyed me.
Yeah.
Is he still little?
So good. Kyle, you need to get this.
You've got the credit card.
I'll say we actually talked about this last week that, I mean, I would 100% use those.
Yeah,
I
Phil
was
used it,
practicing.
and Bryson's been using it, and Dustin Johnson's been using it too.
Well, what does it exactly do? I mean, break
It
it
reads-
down for us.
it's putt view. So you know the putt view that the putting green that we use that has the lines and stuff. Those glasses provide that on normal greens.
Yeah, so I don't know how it works exactly, but essentially when you click one of the buttons, and I think there's an app, it scans the green, and like there's a way you have to
the
do
topography.
it. And then it shows you can have a topography map, you can have the lines on the brakes. I mean, everything. It's pretty cool. They're expensive. I can't remember how much they are, but I know they're more than a normal pair of Oakleys. We'll put it at that.
I mean, it's like you just got all this stuff going right in your
Reminds me
brain
of
at
Jurassic
that point.
Park, where the kid gets the night binoculars.
Who was
Picks them up, and says, are they expensive? Yeah. put them down.
Yeah.
But you also had the Google glasses back in the day. I mean, they never really caught on very much, but that technology is pretty wild. I just don't know if.
But those Google glasses didn't use AI.
But what do you do when you look up? You know, is it like Step Brothers where he turns the lights on when he's got the vision?
Even better, got him on the 40. I think I'm a big fan of anything that actually gives you immediate feedback. So I would love to see how bad I read putts.
Birdie.
And yeah. I mean, sign me up for this all day.
Flush.
I don't care how stupid I look on the course. I feel bad for that dude. Dad, did you have to pick balls like that?
No, we had a catcher's mitt.
Okay.
We just stood out there. But as a matter of fact, no. And at the same time, though, in that era, they're playing the feather ball. So how hard could it really get?
True, it wasn't really.
That doesn't look like a feathery.
I mean, that's back in the day. I will say this,
like one of the single core balls.
I mean, I don't think if I was wearing that, I would be concerned with wearing slacks, my belt, and my shirt tucked in. I think I would be a little bit more casual than that since I'm out there and I probably have to run a little bit to get out of the way of some of these things. But props.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
This reminds me of the suit I wore for kids camp. The kids hit balls at me.
Oh, yeah.
It's, what is that system? Snag It.
Snag golf.
Snag golf.
Yeah. I mean, I've handpicked my fair share of ranges, and I will say this: it's just something about like what your brain tells you. Like when you know you have to get something done, you're gonna do it by all means, right? So like it reminds me like I've handpicked ranges where there's like 20 people hitting balls. I don't care. I'll just walk in the middle.
I think you will probably, I don't know if it's because of this podcast and this, but you probably will see some YouTube group do something stupid like this and have a guy walk back and forth on the driving range.
Are you coming up with content plans? Because I'm all for it.
Only 364 more days till hockey tryouts.
Yeah, exactly. All right, what's the next one? Me having some glizzy and beer at the
You
turn.
should have just
for the 100th
photoshopped
time.
Nikki's face on this one.
Well, I would say majority of 90% of golf courses here in Coastal Carolina doesn't have snack bars, so not really eating that many hot dogs and beer at the turn.
If they do have a snack bar, half the time they're not open.
Yeah, yeah, because the golf courses around here suck. That being said,
Brought to you by the Chamber of Commerce.
yeah. That being said,
Somebody peed in his Wheaties this
I
morning.
was going to say, he was
I'm just saying.
fantastic.
I can't, like I'm a member of a club and you can't go get food at the turn. It's absolutely asinine. It makes no sense.
Yep.
River Landing's hot dogs are undefeated though.
Yep, number 10 landing.
Yeah. No.
Comes in. I don't drink, so it's more of a sun drop for me, which now I'm not drinking soda. But
I don't know. Usually hole 9 on
works.
the landing course pisses me off, so then I have to get a beer at number 10.
God, I hate that hole. It's so hard.
But I mean that's undefeated. That's an elite combo. Besides, this is 100%. What do we say? It's a shank, bogey, WD, DQ. Why is there a Bud Light on the screen? I don't drink Bud Light. For that reason,
That was a Miles thing.
I say shank.
because of the Bud Light.
No, your golf game is too important to give yourself bad nutrition.
I
for
tried
the
a
back
spiked
nine.
Arnold Palmer. They should put that up there. That was pretty good.
A spiked Arnold Palmer?
Okay, I might.
I don't ever drink while playing golf. The hot dog's elite. That's a flush. The Bud Light's a shank.
Agreed.
Do you agree Bryson DeChambeau is a top 5 golfer in the world right now?
100%.
I would go out on a limb to say that if he actually was allowed to play in more events, it would be Scottie Scheffler, number 1 in the world, Bryson's number 2. And it's not even close. I
I'm
think
gonna
the
say-
separation between him and Rory are
I think it's, I have Bryson, Xander, Scottie, Xander, Bryson. Then I think it's kind of like Formula One. Then there's a massive gap to Rory in number 4. And then like Colin Morikawa. Because like right now I think they still have Patrick Cantlay in the top 10 what the heck has that guy done the last 3 years?
Nothing. I mean, think about it.
He can't top 10 in a major to save his life.
You're gonna have to say yes, because if you were to
T6 at a Masters and second place at
it's coming up that the President's Cup.
Yep.
Are you going to leave him off the team? If you were drafting a team of American golfers right now, and I mean, just take the European golfers out of the top 10 or whatnot. But if you were drafting just the top 5 best American golfers, which typically they are the 5 best in the world anyway, is he not one of them?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. You got to put him on the team.
I mean, who are you going to take? Brooks Koepka?
No.
I'm probably not taking Brooks over Bryson now.
No. But what I mean is, if you're picking that American team, at what number does
who
Brooks
we're
come
talking
in?
about right now of taking over, right, is Wyndham Clark, Patrick Cantlay, those guys. Like Patrick Cantlay's in the top 5 he's like 4th to make the Olympic team right now. And I'm like, how is he the 4th best American player in the country?
Hey, America doesn't have the money to pay for his USA hat for him to wear it. So,
it's good. Hatgate at the Olympics. It could be something.
Nah,
I think he's easily a top 5 player in the world right now.
I agree.
And also to the people that said that, because how often did you hear people say this week, announcers, I just miss seeing Bryson. You can still watch Bryson when he plays golf. Everybody in the world has access to watch Bryson play golf, just like you have access to watch Rory play golf. So stop saying, I miss him. You miss him from what?
Well, and it's
the Charles Schwab Quail Hollow.
Yep. It's free. If you want to do PGA Tour Live, it's
no one
$12.99 a month.
No one watched Quail Hollow. The ratings were terrible, right? Just like how look at yesterday the press conferences after the final round. Bryson had on his press conference almost 400,000 views on YouTube. Xander, Scotty's, and Collins combined didn't even have 100,000 at one point. He is the needle right now. I hate to say it, but.
Well, it was funny too that watching the coverage. When Xander and Colin teed off on 18 tee box, it looked like it was a Sunday at any other golf course. I mean, obviously the fans around him weren't following him, in droves. But then you get up to the green, and obviously everybody's up there. But
I don't know.
I think he's moving the needle in golf, and I've said it for the longest time. Even when he had his compass out, and
he's the most important player to golf right now.
Yep,
I have to say it, just because the way he goes about playing
and YouTube.
Yeah,
what he does for the game of golf.
Yep,
he grows the game.
Yep,
triangle.
Wow,
close to that.
Yep. So, wouldn't be shocked to see him win at Pinehurst.
Oh, also, Caleb's official statement on Scottie Scheffler's situation was put him behind bars.
Well, I mean, the PGA Tour needs to have a list of what felonies you can play and what felonies you can't play.
Like the NFL's.
Basically.
And on that note, next week we are going to be taking the week off for a podcast. So we will catch you in 2 weeks. So be sure to turn those push notifications on, like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.
Yep, grow the game.